Last summer's Grid 2 is an excellent racing game, but some fans felt that it drifted a bit far from its roots by emphasizing a flashy scenario and dropping the in-car camera. Now, Codemasters is responding to fan feedback with Grid Autosport, a more straightforward racer built on the same engine with not one, but two cockpit views. Grid Autosport also brings a few more touches that speak to the hardcore crowd. Raising the difficulty, turning off assists, and restricting yourself to the interior view are all incentivized with XP boosts. Plus, if you aren't a fan of 2 to 5 lap races, you can increase your time on track to be up to 5 times longer.
You're in position 12. Fight through and just get across the line.
While you're behind the wheel, you can use the radio to call for updates on the condition of your car or how you're doing compared to your teammate or rival. Depending on the discipline, you can participate in qualifying and practice rounds, but the game doesn't go so far as to include pit stops and their associated strategy.
Your teammate is near the back of the pack, and you're 6 seconds ahead of them.
The career in Grid Autosport isn't about building up a new racing league or gathering fans, but still retains elements such as choosing between sponsor contracts and gaining XP. Oddly enough, it's more like managing 5 careers with different racing disciplines to choose from, focusing on different types of cars and goals.
Competitions that only the best can compete in, and only a champion can win.
Touring events can get a bit rowdy and feature an interesting 2-race structure. In the first round, your place is naturally determined by your qualifying time. Then your finishing position in the first race gets flipped to determine your spot in a second race. So if you come in first, you'll have to then fight your way up from 16th. The second career path is for fans of the long haul, with endurance races that last for a set amount of time rather than a specific number of laps. These events do take tire wear into account, which means you'll have to monitor them closely and take care when cornering. However, in the preview build we played, the opening races only last 8 minutes by default. For the sake of true endurance fans, we're hoping they get longer as you progress. The last 3 disciplines feature entirely different styles of driving. Open-wheel races are essentially an unlicensed take on Formula 1. Pursuing the tuner path gives you a chance to do some light modifications, testing your car in time attack and drift competitions. And finally, street races put you on tight city circuits, wrestling your way through sharp corners in places like San Francisco and Barcelona. As we've only been able to test the opening tier of each group so far, there are some event types we've yet to see. Reportedly, Destruction Derby even makes an appearance. Tracks certainly carry over from past Codemasters games, so you'll see familiar spots like Dubai and Sepang. But with 22 locations in all, it should boast more variety than Grid 2. Unfortunately, Grid Autosport is only coming to last-gen consoles, and even with the PC version, it appears that the car models are starting to look outdated. And even though the cockpit view is returned, the rough, blurry interiors are an eyesore if you take your eyes off the road. Still, this isn't the final game just yet. Maybe we'll see a bit more polish before release. Overall, Grid Autosport doesn't look like it's going full sim, but fans can look forward to a driving experience that embraces a more authentic direction. It won't be long before we get back to it, so keep an eye out for our full review later this month.
And that's it. We're about to get started on this all-important race here in the Grid Legends series here in Hockenheim.